Hi, this is Joe Stones on the second series in preparedness. Tonight we'll be working on water, purification, food storage, and this is brought to you by Osceola County 912 Group. In the next two pages are a list of, nationwide they've done surveys on what kind of products go off the shelves first. And this is a list of the 37 top foods that go off the shelf. And I'll go through the reason why these do. And starting with the water, the rule of three states that while you can live up to 3 weeks without food, you can only live for about 3 days without water. It's inexpensive enough and easily stored such that you should buy and store a case every week. Store bottled water in a cool, dark place under your bed at a good location, and also rotate your stock. So try to keep about a 3-month supply on hand and then rotate it as you go so you have fresh in there. Canned soup, and it's basically an entire meal in a can. You can store 3 cans of soup per family member per day for 2 weeks. Supply, buy soups that are low in sodium so it doesn't make you thirsty. And buy the flavors that your family actually like. Just because mushroom is on sale, nobody likes mushroom, don't buy mushroom. Buy the stuff that you guys actually eat. I like mushroom, but a lot of people don't. Canned meat, it's absolutely required due to the protein. You gotta have that. Your meat arsenal should include Spam, tuna, chicken, canned roast, canned fish, and then get individual sized cans, not the big 3-pounders or 5-pounders where it's going to go bad before you can eat it or you eat too much. Canned vegetables, these provide the carbs that you need, and because you're going to be doing extra work, especially if you're on the move, and that gives you the carbs you need. And most canned vegetables are often canned in water, so that'll give you some hydration from eating the vegetables and then drinking the juice out of it. But also, they make vegetables that are low in sodium, so try to stay on that. Canned fruit, this will provide your healthy sugars, vitamins, and carbs. It's also a morale builder. Things you're out of your house for a length of time, and maybe you need that to help perk you up a little bit. Pasta's good. It's packed with carbs. It's got a long shelf life. Easy to store, and if it's stored correctly, it's almost indefinitely. And it's also one of the most inexpensive products out there. Rice is another one. Rice can last hundreds of years. It was found in the temples when they dug up some of those temples, and there was rice stored in there that was still good. If you're going to store rice, stay away from brown rice. Brown rice has a lot of natural oils in it, and it doesn't keep as long, and it'll actually mold in your containers. Even if you store it right, it still doesn't keep as long as long grain or white. Salt's an item you can't have too much of. It can be used for a lot of things, and bacteria cannot survive in salt, so you can use it to season your food, increase the shelf life of fruits and vegetables and meats. Milk, condensed or powdered milk for cooking, high in protein, amino acids, stores easily, long shelf life. You can use it for cooking, baking, or drinking. And powdered milk will last forever. I mean, you guys have it. I mean, even on the box, if you read the box, you buy it brand new, it's good for 2 years. You know, just store it in a cupboard. So if you store it right in buckets, it can last even longer. Beef jerky, most of us have that. Most of us can make it ourselves. So you got a deer, walk through your yard, you can always blast it and make your jerky out of it. Olive oil. Olive oil supplies essential healthy fats, adds flavor, and has a long shelf life, and they're talking years for olive oil. I mean, it'll, in the cupboard, even it'll last for years without going bad. Nuts, same way, long shelf life, comfort food, nutritious. It's got protein. Grains, and grains are another one. If properly stored, they'll last 25, 30 years. And you put them in the food containers, the food grade buckets, with your Mylar bags inside. You put your oxygen things inside there to take the oxygen out. They'll last for 25, 30 years easily. But you want to stay away from certain ones because they can spoil also. Popcorn is a tasty treat. It's healthy. Comfort food for if you have kids, and also has a long shelf life. If stored in the food containers, with the oxygen taken out, it'll last years and years and years. Cereal, Easy to prepare, long shelf life, quick and easy meal. Choose the low sodium and the low sugar types, so eat the ones that don't have a lot of sugar. Sports drinks, great source of energy. Carbs, vitamins, excellent when someone cannot hold down food due to nausea or sickness, and it helps replace electrolytes. If you're wore down from maybe doing yard work or whatever, cleaning up, then that's something that can help you back on your feet. Pickled foods, cucumbers, vegetables, meats, fish, eggs, and you can pickle your own stuff too. And most anybody that can do that. Dried fruits, long shelf life, easy to store, tastes great. Can be used in creating trail mix and other snacks, and that's what we put some. We got some apricots, dried cherries, pistachios, and almonds, and that's shrunk wrap down there, and put the date on it. Make sure it has date stuff when you put it up. Even the food container you have stored, write the date on when you did it, so you can rotate stuff. Spices make food taste better. Some have amazing health benefits. Turmeric is a natural cancer fighter. Garlic wards off sickness and the wife. Kills parasites in the digestive tract and boosts the immune system. Cayenne pepper placed under the tongue of someone having a heart attack can potentially stop the cardiac arrest. But take kind of spices that you like. You know, you have your own taste. So, honey is the next one. Honey never goes bad if stored properly. And the same with the rice. A jar of honey was found in one of the Egyptian tombs, and it was still good. And raw honey is even better. The stuff in the store, they filtered so much that it doesn't have the health benefits that you can get from the local stuff. And especially if you can get some that's raw honey. And raw honey, I don't know if I should have brought a jar, but I just bought a case of it the other day. But it's thick like peanut butter. Yeah. And you actually have to heat it to use it. But it has all the pollens and everything in it, and that's what you want, because it'll last indefinitely. Crackers, great snack, store well. Crackers have a fairly long shelf life if they're sealed up good, and then try to go with whole grain when possible. Baking products, flour, baking soda, yeast, baking powder, all vital for preparing basic foods such as breads. Sugar, that's another item that will last indefinitely if stored properly. And it can be used for everything from wound care to baking and a lot of things in between. Vinegar. White vinegar is a natural disinfectant, has many cooking uses, and can be used for household disinfectant. And I didn't realize it, but I found this book. There's 501 uses for vinegar that you go through. It's amazing, the stuff, and it lasts forever. I mean, vinegar is a real long shelf life. Coffee, morale booster, excellent barter item. Just don't drink a lot as a diuretic, but it gives you a quick pick-me-up if you need it. I don't drink coffee, but my bride does, so I pack coffee that we can make her a cup of coffee if she needs it. So.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. And alcohol, we don't drink either, but it doesn't hurt to store some. Good barter item, morale booster, wound disinfectant, and a mild anesthesia in case you need to be stitched up, and it lasts forever. It's one of the items that, you know, some of it gets better with age. Juice powders, Tang, Kool-Aid, etc., mixed with water, healthy and delicious drink, good for masking the taste of water. If you don't have a good filtration system, your water could have a funky taste to it. So you throw a spoonful of Tang in there, and it tastes good all of a sudden. And I found that out when we went to Canada. We used to boil our water to drink it, but it still didn't taste that good. So we put some Tang in there and it was fine. Peanut butter, good source for protein, long shelf life. Protein drinks and bars, good for nutrition when you can't get a meal, long shelf life. I mean, there's tons of different kinds of energy trail bars you can get. We just threw half a dozen in a thing and packed them up. But it'll give you quick energy, and you can get by with a meal for that if you have to. Can't happen to cook anything that day. Hard candy, long shelf life, quick burst of energy, nice treat and a morale builder. Long-lasting treats. Can't get Twinkies anymore. It's on the list.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts, chocolate bars. Most of those have a long shelf life. morale boosters, and they actually are a valuable barter item. Get to that. Ramen noodles, and I found out this afterwards. They're lightweight, cheap, long shelf life, but a lot of sodium. Better to mix with meat or vegetables, but I did find out, and I've never ate them, and I won't. They actually, if you guys have cooked them before and they fall apart when you open them, it's because they're coated with a type of plastic when they make those, so they come apart. I just found that out after researching them. But I've never ate them. Our kids ate them in college like crazy. We bought them cases and cases of them, but I never have. Fresh fruit. It's going to be hard to have fresh fruit if the stores are shut down and you can't get to them, but try to keep some on hand. Bag apples, oranges, some bananas or something, so at least you have it for a short term. Baby formula and baby food. This stuff goes off the shelf quick, and if you have kids, you need it for sure. But if you don't, it's a good barter item. You know, people have babies, they're going to have to feed them. And if they eat baby food, if you have some, maybe they have something you want. Pet food. And don't share your food with your pet. If you're going to have a pet and you're going to keep a pet, store some food for them. And pet food does stay a long time if it's sealed. Put it in a food grade bucket, a Mylar bag, seal it up, and it'll keep for years and years and years. And then condiments, anything you might need, ketchup, mustard, salt, any other spices. Most of that stuff you don't need to store in the refrigerator anymore. Even after you open it, ketchup, mustard will keep forever. You know, even that in. The date on, if you have something that has an expiration date on it, don't throw it away, because that does not mean it's bad. My daughter will not eat, if it's one day past that, she throws it away. That's why she comes to my house and picks up a thing of ketchup. 2008! You know?
I have a hard time with that too.
But
I really do.
they
Have you
have
ever
to
opened
put-
a can of evaporated milk that's 2 years old? It's brown. I'm sorry.
Yeah, some stuff probably is, but most anything else, vegetables, fruit, and all that stuff, it'll last forever in there. They have to put a date on it. Ask Mark Patello if you want to know. They don't eat anything. It's just a house that isn't expired. Because they can't sell it.
I think some of the secret to that condiment stuff is the vinegar. If
Yeah.
it's processed with vinegar,
Right.
then it adds to the longevity.
And then pancake mix is the last thing on that list. And that's just something you add water to, and you can have a meal. Try and get whole grain pancake mix. It works the best, and the pancakes are extremely filling. One thing, when food supplies are, benefit supplies are low, and your activity is reduced, you don't need to have, and that, you know, these are great things if you can get them, these MREs. But 4,800 calories in one of these. So you don't need 4,800 calories in a day. If you're out cutting wood, or you know, like the Army servicemen expend that much energy, then they need that, but we don't. So I wouldn't recommend getting these unless you're going to have some just at home if there's a power outage, because you do have everything's in here to cook it and everything's inside the heater. But I wouldn't get them because they're heavy. You guys get some?
No, I'm just thinking I could go for that many calories.
Yeah.
No problem.
But you can have a case at home for emergency. You can have it. But if you had to leave, you know, I've got a backpack. I put 6 in that I plan on, if I have to leave, I can take with me. But that's it, because they're just too heavy. And when you stock up food, take into account your family's needs. You know, don't store dried fruits and nuts if you guys don't eat them. You know, go by what your family uses. You can have a list of stuff. You know, I'll get to a program you can get on actually to start going ahead for that storage. If your power goes out, how are you going to cook stuff? Most of us have wood stoves. I don't, but I know some of you do. You can cook on your wood stove. You got a grill outside, you can cook on it. You know, there's ways to do that. And I would recommend have a short-term supply of food. Forest fire goes through and puts you out of your house for 3 days. You know, you got stuff you could take with you if you needed to. And then I would have a 2-week supply, in case you have to go out a little bit longer. And then long term, you could put 6 months to a year's worth up if you wanted to. And most of the stuff here do. I mean, we've always had our pantry full. Make sure you keep your stuff stored in a dry, cool spot. Dark area is the best. Keep it covered at all times. Open food boxes or cans carefully. Close them tightly after you use them. And the new food bags they have, you buy these buckets. Don't use this kind of bucket to store food in. These Home Depot ones, because they're not. A lot of the times it's recycled. This one is recycled plastic. You don't know what this was used for before, so there could be any kind of chemicals in this thing. When you do that, don't use these for food storage. They make actual food storage containers that are 100% safe, and that's what you want to get. And then they make Mylar bags, and you put your food in these Mylar bags, seal them, you put your oxygen, thing eats oxygen out of them. Yes?
Those containers you mentioned that you shouldn't be buying, where do you recommend that you can get them?
You can buy them through Home Depot, but these are $2.50. Those are $8.50. And then you shouldn't use these type of lids. They make a different kind of lid for those, and the lids are about $5 a piece for that type. I'll get to them in a minute. But anyways, you put your food in your Mylar bag. You take one of these little hand warmers, or they make regular ones you can buy that just cost more. It's the same thing. Shake it up, throw it in the bag, seal it, and throw it in your bucket. That's going to eat up any oxygen that's left in there. Get rid of everything. So if there happens to be bug or something in there,
Is that written down here?
take care of it. I've included from Utah State University a management plan for home storage. And it isn't a perfect thing, but it lets you go through, and it's got a little worksheet in here that you can go through and write down what meals you eat, and go through and figure out. And there's sample sheets in here on food storage, and then also there's an inventory that you can go through and inventory what you have, and see where you're setting. And you could even go online with a calculator to see if you're where you need to be for whatever term you want. I've included two different plans for building your food storage on a cost everybody's going to afford. This first one is you can build your food storage on $5 a week. That's it. And for a year's time, in a year's time, you do $5 a week, you'll have all your stuff put out. Like week 1, you buy 6 pounds of salt, put it away. Week 2, 5 cans cream of chicken soup. Week 3, 20 pounds of sugar, and on and on. Week 16, 5 cans of cream of chicken soup. Some of it is multiple because you want to get a year's supply of food built up. You get into week 52, 50 pounds a week. And that tells you at the end of that time what you'll end up with. You'll end up with 500 pounds a week, 180 pounds of sugar, 40 pounds of powdered milk, 12 pounds of salt, 10 pounds of honey, 5 pounds of peanut butter, 45 cans of tomato soup, 15 cans of cream of mushroom, 15 cans of cream of chicken, 24 cans of tuna, 21 boxes of macaroni and cheese, aspirin, multivitamins, yeast, shortening, and macaroni. And that's just a basic, the cheapest way you can get to have food storage enough to live on. The next one is a year of supplemental food storage for a family of 4 for $300. So it goes through and tells you it's the same way. What you need to buy over that period of time to end up with that. The next sheet goes through and determine what you eat. So your stash and stuff, that you're actually gonna eat. You're not gonna open a container and have a bunch of stuff in there that, why'd you say this, you know? And then you need to determine how much. And if you go online, there are food calculators that'll tell you how many people, how many calories a day you want, and it'll tell you how much food that you actually need to put up for whatever length of time.
I think I have your next sheets, because there's duplicates and it says right in it.
Sorry. And then you'll get one here that says the kitchen on the top, and this one here is $10 a month. You can go through for $10 a month, and it'll tell you what you need to do to stock up on your food. Anybody have any questions on any of that first part of that?
Yeah, what's your reminder bag? What is that?
It's a storage bag that you have to buy them online. You can get them at Home Depot too, but the best way, if you're going to buy them through Home Depot and they'll ship them to the store, and you pick them up, then you don't have to pay shipping. Most of us go to West Branch or Gaylord.
You can't use those bags that your stuff is in?
No.
Why not?
Because they won't, these aren't guaranteed to keep stuff out. These are actually.
Those are the vacuum bags?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
No, because you don't.
Or is it to give?
You don't get everything out of them. I mean, just like I package them, and you can see the moisture and stuff still in, you know.
So the Mylar is heavier then?
It's just what the product that's made out of. It's like aluminum foil, the bag is,
Oh, okay.
Isn't it like a
It's
potato
like
chip bag inside out?
pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're saying that because this moisture is in here, this is going to spoil?
It will.
That's what
And we're not- and that'll last-
I use this to freeze.
That'll last, oh yeah, it's great for freezing. It'll last months in there, but we're talking 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You know, if I'm gonna go through the problem of doing 5, 10 gallons of wheat or oats, I don't wanna go 5 years from now and not have it spoil. So, just put them in the Mylar, put your oxygen things in, and it might take 2 of them in a 5-gallon bucket to get all the oxygen out. One might not be enough. But there's all charts on that tells you how much you need to do for.
You're saying put the packet on the outside of the food bag,
Inside,
right with the food?
right with the food,
Okay,
seal it.
that
Yeah,
makes,
throw it in,
that makes
seal
more
it.
sense, yeah.
Throw it in
Okay.
the bag, seal it, throw it in there, and it'll, because those are, they make like rust when the two things come to, you know, you mix those bags of things.
Right,
And then
Releases
it takes
nitrogen,
oxygen to
yeah.
burn them. So
Yep.
once the oxygen's in the bag, they go out.
yeah.
But it's, you activate the heat thing and then put it in.
Yes.
Okay, and so now too, like all this stuff that you have right now, are you using this as you go and then you replenish?
We just did this to start. I mean, I just did this here a month ago.
Okay.
Put these in, so.
But you're gonna use this up first and then you're
Yeah.
just gonna keep buying and,
Right.
and you.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
this will last a year or two in this bag like this. These nuts will.
Okay.
But the stuff that you have, like these dried cherries, because there's moisture in there, they're not going to keep as long. The nuts will keep a lot longer. You don't like peanut butter. I think this one's probably already expired. Well, this month. But
So now are you buying organic stuff too? To make it
Uh,
last longer?
Actually, the preservatives are what make it last.
yeah, I don't think organic will last any
Okay.
longer.
Yeah.
Alright.
But
Everything you've mentioned has got preservatives in it.
Does.
So, yeah, that's making it last.
yeah.
Now the peanut butter, would you seal it? Or would you just leave it unopened
There's,
and that
yeah,
would stay,
like this one's never been opened.
and that would stay for indefinite?
Oh yeah, I'd
Okay.
say for a long time. Peanut butter is very good. And this is like a high nutrition energy mix. Got berries and nuts and stuff in it.
Okay.
But
My
Lot of
tastes like
calories.
garbanzo, but
And then so you're saying too, like buy smaller so you can use it up quicker.
exactly.
see, I
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, you could buy a 5-gallon pail of peanut butter, but are you gonna eat it all before it goes bad? I
Well,
mean, here,
yeah, like if you had a family or something, you might do that, but not.
yeah. But even if you had a family, you You can make a couple sandwiches a piece, and this could be gone, and you're done with it.
Okay. Yeah, but the bigger ones, like this, can be gone in, a week, my family, so.
Well, that's where you have to know what your family, what everybody's different. I don't know how much peanut butter you guys eat. A lot? Yeah. We don't eat a lot.
It's getting more expensive too.
Any more questions on that part of it? And then in your handouts, there's a lot more information that you can read through about stocking food up, and I would go through that worksheet from Utah State. I read through that and looked through it really good. I think it goes through and asks a lot of nice questions and helps you plan for what you might need. I mean, some people might only need 3 days. That's all they're worried about. Where you guys are, it could be a couple weeks. You never know. You're right in the forest fire area there. So.
Yep.
Any more questions on the food part of it? Okay, move on to the water purification. And actually, the best way to purify water is boil it. I mean, that kills everything in water. It might be still dirty, and I would filter it before I boiled it, even if you ran through cheesecloth or anything you could run it through.
Coffee filters.
Coffee filters, yeah, whatever. A rag if it's all you have, just to get the heavy particles out of it. But you don't need to overboil water. Unless you have unlimited fire, you can boil longer. But once you bring water to a boil and it boils for 1 minute, it's as pure as it's going to get. So you're just wasting fuel if you go any farther than that. There's a couple chemical purification ways. One is iodine, and the other one is chlorine. Iodine has some faults, and some people are allergic to it. If you have thyroid problems or on lithium, women over 50 and pregnant women should consult a physician before they use iodine to purify water. Chlorine can be used for people who have iodine issues. Water temperature, sediment levels, and contact time are all elements in killing microorganisms. So you could have this bucket of water and put chlorine in it, and it could kill some stuff immediately. Some stuff might take an hour, and the high ones might take 4 hours. So you can't put chlorine in a bucket and drink it right away. You need to let it set at least 4 hours. After 4 hours, it'll kill every microorganism that's in there. The iodine tablets are you can buy 50 tablets for $7, and then 2 tablets will do a quart of water. So they don't really go that far. It's not a recommended way. I just wanted to show you some ways that we can do it. Chlorine, it only takes two drops of chlorine per liter of water that you want to purify. And bleach is pretty cheap. But you make sure you use unscented. Don't use scented bleach.
Yeah. No fabric softeners or none of that.
No. But they make lemon bleach, and it's not going to give you lemon water, so don't use it. They have, the next one is filtration. They have a membrane, which are thin sheets with precisely sized pores that prevent objects larger than the pore side passing through. Easy to clean but clog more quickly than depth filters. So it's one way to do it, but it's not if you're going to filtrate water, that's not the best way. Depth filters use thick porous materials such as carbon or ceramic, and that's what this is a ceramic filter. And you can buy these, I think I paid, $32 for it.
Is it a certain company that you go on, or you just put on ceramic filters and it'll...
You just type in ceramic filters.
Okay.
And in your packet, there's some sheets that show you...
Flip it around, Joe. The bottom. Let me see.
Okay. They're gravity filters.
Right.
Okay.
And that's where it doesn't make any difference how many more filters you put in. You're not going to purify the water anymore.
Is it just
It's molded in, there's a nut on the bottom. It goes through. So you just fill this top bucket, and then just gravity goes through there and takes everything out.
Is it kind of like the ones that are like the filters that go on your in your house, you know, the little filters that
No.
stick inside of those, no?
No, because these are, the water has to go in through these to go down that hole. Those other ones don't pass through that way. But you want to make sure it's a gravity filter if you're going to build one of these. Because you want it to go into that ceramic and then filtrates it and the water comes out the bottom. And the nice part about them, and they last a long time. You can clean them. And I didn't realize that. I talked to a guy that has one in town, and he's had it for 10 years, and they use it every day at their house. They filtrate all their water out of their, even out of their well water, and they drink it. They run it through their filter system. Because when you get your water tests good, but it isn't tested for everything. So these will take up 99.9% of the other stuff that didn't get tested when you had your water tested. So, I guess one of the cons to it is you got to be careful with them because you can break them. And once you break them, they're not good. Because a lot of crack in them and stuff will get to them. And they're about anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks a piece for these. You can use an ultraviolet light purifier, and they make portable ones that run off a battery. And I'm kind of looking into those because they kill everything with ultraviolet light. I'm not familiar with it myself, but what I've been reading on them, you know, they work in less than a minute. I mean, that water runs through them, and it's purified. And they make them for backpackers. One you can pack along with it. They're kind of pricey. They start at about 250 bucks and go up from there. But and one thing they said, they don't leave a chemical aftertaste when you use that ultraviolet. It takes all that away. But they work best in relatively clear water, so you'd have to strain your water. And then make sure you carry extra batteries because they run off batteries. Chlorine dioxide tablets. They're easy to transport. They'll take care of all three major types of bugs that are in the water. Easy to use, but they'll take 30 minutes to kill Giardia and up to 4 hours to kill Cryptospordium, whatever that is. But that's the nastiest thing you're going to get in your water.
It's nasty.
Ponds and stuff, so. But it takes up 4 hours, and that's the same, if I said it's put chlorine, the actual bleach in, it needs to go that long to kill that one. And they make pump filters, and that's just one where you can stick down the water, and you can pump it through all the filters. Make sure you get ones with a 0.2 microns or less. That way it'll take the bacteria and protozoa while allowing the water to flow through the filter at 1 to 3 liters per minute. When the viruses are a problem, then you want to choose a filter with iodine resin or upgrade to a purifier. And they're 50, 60 bucks for those. The chlorine dioxide tablets are, you get 30 tablets, we'll do 30 quarts of water for about $13.50. And then the gravity type is what we have here. And Berkey seems to be the best company out there for a gravity filter. It'll be a system just like this, but it'll be all stainless steel. And it'll come with 2 of these filters in it, and there's room in there to put 4. So, and I would recommend that if you want something for home. It'd be about 350 bucks, but you can do 7 gallons per hour through it. So you get lots of water through in a day. And they run different size ones. You get a travel one up to a Royal Berkey, and they run from $250 to $600. And there's other companies made, and you have information in your packet from about 4 different ones that I put in there. And what I found was I thought if 2 filters is good, 4 would be better. Your water would be pure, but it isn't. It makes no difference. It's just the speed that the water goes through the bucket. That's the only difference it makes. And this next item is just a information for you on water purification for a backpacker type thing. Tells you different ways, different kind of stuff. We went over there, but just kind of gives it to you black and white. And then the types of bacteria that you want to kill, what microorganisms are in the water, and what kind of filter you need to kill them. Some water filters come in as a sealed cartridge and makes them impossible to check them. So if it takes a fall, it could crack internally and you wouldn't know it. And that wouldn't be good because you would be drinking contaminated water and think you were drinking clear water. You need to be real careful. And what I would do is take this thing out, wrap it up in bubble wrap if I had to transport it, so it's sealed, and put it in a safe place in my pack, and then set it up when I get there. Because all it does is stick in the bottom, tighten it, nut down on it, and you're ready to go. But that way you're not going to take a chance of, and then you can use these buckets to carry stuff in when you're moving from one place to another. The next sheets are, it's kind of technical stuff, but it actually shows you the contaminants and what effects you can have from drinking it, and then the sources of contaminants in the drinking water, what they're from. Like if you have horses or cows, you might be getting runoff into where you're getting your water from. And the system will kill all that, but you need to know how long you let it go through and all that kind of stuff to do it. But that's just kind of for your information, you look that stuff over. We get into the next one, this shows you the different kinds of, and if you're seriously thinking about getting a water filter, I would get the Berkey, is what I would do. It seems to be, I've looked through a dozen different ones, and it seems to be the one that does the best job. It's all stainless steel. Comes with 2 filters when you buy it, and
The ceramic filters?
the ceramic filters. Yeah, their own company. They're Berkey filters, and they're like, for 2 filters, it's like $100. So you know, if you want faster water, buy 4 and put them in, or if you want to buy 2 and so you got 2 spares. But the guy in town I know that has a Berkey said it lasts him 10 years, and they take it out and clean the ceramic, and they're real careful with it. And
Joe, what do they use to clean the ceramic?
just a brush.
Just a brush and water?
Yep, water and a brush.
But those ones behind you will work just as well as these ones.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And what I would do is put chlorine. If I'm going to use this to purify my water and I need it, so it's pond water or out of the backwaters, I'm going to put chlorine in it too, just because
Pre-filter it and it'll last a lot longer.
it will. Yeah. And I'd run everything through a coffee filter or a cheesecloth or something to get out leaves or whatever else you might end up with in there. And then these other ones are some other gravity filters, different companies, different brands that I included in here. Newton makes one that's real similar to the Berkey. I didn't like their filters as well. They didn't have as good reviews as the Berkeys did. And then the next page gets into seeds. If you're interested in being able to put a garden in sometime after, they do make seed packs that you can buy that have hundreds of varieties to get you started. Because once you get a garden started, you can collect your own seeds after that. There's a couple different companies here that you can take a look at. Different pricing. And then you just have to figure out what's best for you. I mean, we're planning for the worst case scenario that could happen. And that's just what we've decided to do. And some people are going to plan for 3 days, some are going to plan for 2 some are gonna put in for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. We decided to plan for the worst case scenario for us, and then we'll just rotate our stock. And if we need to rotate our water through and our food through, that's what we'll do. You gotta buy food anyways. So, we have to decide what's best for you and go from there. Any other questions? I brought the bug out bag again tonight for the people that weren't here that wanted to see what's actually in them. And all that stuff fits in those 2 backpacks. Doesn't look like you can possibly get in there, but it does. So, and I brought some MREs and a couple of, you can buy this Wise company, if you want to buy pre-prepared outdoor meals, this Wise company seems to be about one of the best. And you can buy buckets of 30 days worth, 60 days worth, whatever you want. And you can get that stuff and have it, just add water and it's ready to go. But I would recommend these to have, they're okay to have, half a dozen at home, but I mean, pass it around and feel heavy there. You want to carry a month's worth of food around with you?
Now, Joe, how are you gonna get all this stuff to go with you? I mean,
That's what he has his wife.
Right there.
I have an onion allergy, you know. They put onion in
Well, that's what
everything.
we're taking with us right there. In our filter system.
Apparently, Billy doesn't have a wife.
See, what we're saying on the storage is if you're going to stay home, if you're going to stay in your house, then you need to have this much stuff to get you through. If you have to leave your house for some reason, that's a totally different thing. And we have a network of some people that doing the same thing as we are. We know we can go here or there, and we're making more contacts on that all the time. But I would recommend getting a group of 5 or 6 people together that you like, if you had to spend a month with, and kill each other. But
Well, that leaves me out.
and make those contacts.
right, Dave?
Set up and
Water was the real problem. Because out there, they had a parasite that none of the chemicals would kill.
Right.
You either had to boil it or throw it.
right.
And boiling it, you can't hardly eat it.
No.
It's hard to boil water, all the water you want to drink, it's
It is.
hard to do. And it takes a lot of fuel too when you're
Right.
packing.
And this will do the same thing. This is gonna take probably 4 hours to flow through here for 5 gallons. That's what it's gonna take with one filter.
But we ended up with filter.
Yeah, if you want to put another one in, you can cut that down in half, and each one you put is gonna be faster.
But what if you wanted less than 5 gallons? Is there something
Just put
smaller?
it in whatever you want.
Is there something smaller that is available? I mean,
There's 2.5 gallon buckets you can get.
Yeah, you could. But I mean, if there's 2 of you, you're gonna drink at least 2 gallons of water a day. You need a gallon of water to live, really. You're either gonna get it through your soda pop,
This
or
one needs to go down.
or something, so you're gonna need at least a gallon of water. And then if you wanna do any cooking, you need clean water for that. So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend anything less than 5 gallons.
You can get straws.
You can.
And then you can get the little, but they're hard, they won't, you drive yourself crazy.
I like that.
I've looked at all, a bunch of different filtration systems, and like I said, I think the Berkey is the best thing on the market. But this is the same thing for $40. So,
Now, are you bottling that up after you get that in there?
you could, what I would recommend doing is having some food grade buckets, clean ones, that once you did, you could dump it into a clean bucket and store it that way. Or if you had a bladder tank, where you could dump it into a bladder tank.
Empty milk jugs that are cleaned
Anything.
out real well.
Yeah, whatever you could store it in. You could leave it right here, it's got a spigot on it, and you could fill your cups or whatever you need, or your pan to cook, but
So that's safe even though it's recycled? Because you were
for
saying.
new water in it, because you're not storing it in it for long lengths of
alright.
time.
Okay.
You're running it through there, you're taking it out and using it. And this was just for demonstration, I want to something, I didn't have to spend $100 on putting something together, so. But
Joe, what is the recycle number on those lids in the container?
2,
That's a 2?
Yeah.
And the base is a 2 as well?
5 and 7 is food
Yeah.
grade, right?
they're both 2.
Okay. 'Cause I heard that 7 has that B something with 3 letters.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Anybody that has little kids ought to know this.
BPH.
There.
So 2 is safe.
This is HDPE is what it says. I don't really know what that means, but I know
Polysulfate.
researching these buckets, they say don't use them for any kind of storage, long-term storage. Because they're recycled, they could have had petroleum, they could have chemicals, anything in it, you don't know.
So my rinsed out paint buckets won't work, huh?
And
You can
could
store
buy
your
them
canned
from Home
food
Depot,
in
you can
there.
buy 10 buckets.
Make it portable.
They come with 10 Mylar bags and enough oxygen things to do those things for $84. And that'd be a lot of storage for you. And you can buy them online, have them shipped right to you, Home Depot, and pick them up. Save shipping.
So you just, you put your stuff in your Mylar bags and then you put them in the plastic buckets with the screw lids instead of those kind of like.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, you don't want these. They make the ones that screw onto these buckets. That's what you want. And they seal.
And repeat that again, you said 10 buckets, what'd you say?
$84 for 10. 10 buckets, 10 Mylar pouches, and the oxygen things to do those.
Lids?
No.
Okay.
The lids are about $5 to $6 a piece.
To screw up.
They'll send you these kind of lids with it when you buy it. They come with it. But that isn't what we want.
What about these blue barrels that they got down here, 33 supply?
Don't know what was in them. It's a problem.
Some of them say food grade.
Okay, if they're food grade, you're okay. Yeah, you'd have to look at the seals on them to see what.
A lot of them come with a soft drink, like the syrup.
Right.
They'd be all right.
They'd be okay. And they'd be good for water storage, especially.
If that's the only place that we're ever used.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we're set up to take the rainfall up our house
Yeah.
at that point, and then we've got swing that goes into the buckets, and we can collect a lot of water off your roof in a hurry.
Oh, man.
Realize it.
Sure couldn't today.
And even if you only use it for flushing your toilets and stuff like that, you need water for that.
One thing you might want to do with your roof water though is not take the first batch. Because you're draining the eaves troughs that have sit there with fungus in it. You're getting the bird droppings off the roof.
Yeah, but if you're gonna use your toilet, it wouldn't matter. And just drain it, and the buckets that you take that off there have to be set up with cheesecloth to stop
And they should be set
mosquitoes
up
from
with
going
the
in
bird,
and
too.
laying eggs and all that stuff, like they do. So they gotta be set up. There's a system for doing that.
And you need a diverter that diverts the first batch off, so that you're not getting that in your bucket to start with.
Yeah, you could do that. We don't plan on drinking that water. Now, I've yet to find out what Julie's talking about on the wells. But I think you can do it, because I had somebody else tell us
That's
it's the same thing.
The other thing is that you gotta pull it up and down.
Right,
It won't just start running out of them.
right. But even so, that would be pretty handy.
But if you got a generator, you won't hold it.
Right. Any more questions? Well, thank everybody for coming. Hope I enlightened you a little bit.
Thank you for the presentation, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Do another one down the road though for home security, stuff you can do at your house. I've researched that quite a bit and come up with some stuff that if you plan on staying at your house like we are,